Good morning. It's Friday and we're live with BodyWise. Welcome to Facebook Friday. Fun music for today. I want to welcome you all and say howdy. Hope you have a great weekend. It's the start of October. We are saying goodbye to the fall and goodbye to the beginning of the school year, and we are well underway. Last week we discussed emotion is a bad word. Isn't that exciting? This week we're going to talk about alpha brain waves and a little bit more about how pain is an emotion and how you can get more alpha to reduce your pain. If you're having chronic pain, even if you're having acute pain, you'll want to listen in today. A couple of spoutabouts this morning. I would like to say a big thanks to Astera Burkett, who is organizing a few things for me. By the way, if you didn't know, there is something called a medical astrologist. That would be Astera Burkett. And her work is amazing. So if you've been trying to figure out some body things going on with yourself, feel free to contact her for her information. Just give me a shout out in the comments below and I'm happy to pass it along to you. Very interesting, crazy, amazing stuff. Also, I would like to spout about Amy Henry Wiebeck. She is introducing me to the owner of Shoreline Community Acupuncture today. Woohoo! I'll be there. I'm so looking forward to it. Another shout out to Lauren Bullock. Lauren owns Eye of the Needle Winery. And if you're not aware of it yet, BodyWise is hosting some wine fun on October 22nd. Mark your calendar from 2 to 4 p.m. We will be tasting the amazing blends at Eye of the Needle Winery. For more information, feel free to contact me. There is a Facebook event already started, so you can find it on my Facebook page. Check it out. Please come. We would love to have you. Another spout about Blaine Belrude, thanks again for your tips. He's helping me make it clear and crisp and bright on Facebook Live. Thanks. Appreciate it. Your comments are always welcome. So, speaking of comments, and I just wanted to mention that studies are finding that there are two pathways that we experience pain. One is the sensory pathway. Everybody knows about that one. Smash your thumb with a hammer and you feel the pain. That's the sensory route to the brain's receiving the stimulus for pain. And studies are linking depression and anxiety to the development of physical pain conditions. So if you have a tendency toward depression and anxiety, get on that right away, because they are finding that things such as depression and anxiety are contributing to conditions, and they're wondering if there's a link to that and fibromyalgia in particular, because they can't figure fibromyalgia out yet. So we'll have some recommendations for you. I had mentioned there are two ways that our brains can modulate pain. One, we receive pain through the sensory receptors that come from our body. Research also has discovered that we receive the sensation of pain through another part of the brain called the nucleus accumbens and prefrontal cortex. And as everyone knows, the prefrontal cortex is our thinking, conscious, logical brain. So, this week we're talking about alpha brain waves, and when you're thinking from the prefrontal cortex, which is our rational, logical brain, we also tend to be in more beta brain wavelength, and that's what we use on a regular basis. When people wake up, they go through different states from theta to alpha and then to beta, and when they're in beta, that's usually how they spend most of their time getting dressed, getting breakfast, driving in the car, working, and studies are showing that beta brain wavelengths have the tendency to be anxiety ridden, and also a little more frantic. And if you are in a more alpha brainwave state, which is true of the creatives out there, the artists, the musicians, all those people who are doing things with their body in a repetitive manner, they tend to get themselves into the alpha state. And that alpha state is, they're finding, our creative ability. It is a more relaxed brainwave state, and it's a state where we can be in a more meditative perspective. They are suggesting that when we're in alpha state, we are experiencing a more positive outlook, and a positive outlook will definitely help decrease your perception and your understanding and your feelings when it comes to pain. So how do you get into that alpha state? Give your body something to do that's repetitive. So musicians play their instruments repetitively and regularly, and sometimes for hours. Artists, they are painting and drawing and doing their art repetitively and for hours. I would suggest that runners, I know an amazing runner, he runs 50 miles and more. He has the tendency to be in a more alpha brainwave state, much more positive. So what can you do to get your mind thinking more positively, to decrease the negative thoughts and emotions that you have? I have a couple suggestions. Number one, speak to yourself some affirmations in the morning. So say them out loud. Choose some really good ones that apply to your life and where you're at in your thoughts and thinkings. And number two, movement grounds the sensory impulses for pain. So when you're doing a repetitive movement, you're sending more proprioceptive messages to your brain, which crowds out the pain receptors from the sensory part of your body. So put these two together, saying affirmations and talking out loud and moving your body more. I would suggest walking, because most people know how to do that with relative balance. If you need help learning how to walk in better balance, please contact BodyWise. We specialize in supporting people walking and walking in balance without pain, and we offer free consultations. So the best thing to do to keep your mind in an alpha state is to go for a walk and have a talk. I like to call it a walkie-talkie. Isn't that hilarious? So go have yourself a walkie-talkie. Keep drinking your water. Please let me know in the comments if you are adding anything special in your water. This week I'm focusing on licorice tea. I'll give you more insights about licorice tea on Tuesday when we're back to talk more about water. For now, I would just like to encourage you to think head-wise, feel heart-wise, and move yourself body-wise. Go out, have yourself a walkie-talkie to increase your alpha brain waves and decrease your sense of pain to the brain. Thanks everyone. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to more Facebook Live posts in October.